Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I am Sherman Rivers and I have a question for you. When will you live on purpose? When will you live your life on purpose or in your purpose? When are you going to do that? Are you already there? If you are, congratulations. You're one of the few, not a part of the many. You're rare. I applaud you. Congratulations. If not, when are you going to do it? At what point are you going to start to live your purpose? Live life on purpose. Since I'm not here to come around and start kicking over furniture, I want to give you some examples of some information that you need to gather to kind of start moving that way. Start living your life on purpose. You know, it's the W's, the who, what, when, where's, and why's. You got to figure that out. If you're not living in your purpose and you're ready to start, at least you want to start living in your purpose, these are some things that you got to figure out. Starting with the who. Who are you? Know thyself. Step number one, probably the most important part. It's the foundation. You got to know who you are. So if you're thinking about living in your purpose, you got to start with who you are. Who's living in that purpose? Who are you? And then there's another part of the who, is who are you going to serve? Because don't get it twisted. It's about service. That's how we bring value, by serving others. So who will you serve? Who is going to be your customer? Who's going to benefit from your service, from your purpose? When you're in your purpose, who are you going to serve? And I know this is just a YouTube video, just passing a little bit of time, but I would encourage you to write that down. I would encourage you to take a pen or pencil, piece of paper, and write that down. Pull out your cell phone, make a note, write that down. However you got to do it, write that down. Who are you? And who will you serve? Then the next question would be, what is your purpose? Who, what? What is your purpose? In other words, what is it that you were put here to do? What is it that you feel like you were put here to do? What is it that you are capable of doing that you know you should be doing? What is your purpose? Because the bottom line is this: you will have a purpose in this world. Question is, who will assign that purpose? Will it be yourself or God? Will it be assigned by that team? Or will it be assigned by someone else? Another person who's flesh and blood, a man or woman just like yourself, but for some reason, you feel it's okay to give them power to assign the purpose in your life. What is your purpose? Is your purpose to clock in, clock out, punch a clock, do exactly as you're told, however many hours a day, every day, 5 days a week, till you get some time off? You're allowed to do whatever you want to do, come back next week, do the exact same thing again, until you can't do it anymore, and then they retire you from service, and that's pretty much it. Then you get the time to go do all the things that you wanted to do, just that you can't do it anymore. Is that your purpose? I mean, is that how you serve in the world? In some cases, yes. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a hit against a job. People got to eat, got to make money somehow. That's not the whole point of it. But is there something higher? Is there a different calling? One that you would assign to yourself? Do you have a job that you would give yourself? What is your purpose? Write that down. Then we move on to the when. When will you begin? You know your purpose. You know what you want to do, what you should be doing. Right? Got it all mapped out in your head. It's a beautiful picture. It's a vision. So when does it start? Best time is yesterday. Second best time is today. Next best time is tomorrow. But when will you start? Are you planning a 5 years from now? 5 years from now, I'll start living on purpose and in my purpose. 10 years from now? About 20 years when everybody else gets done with you. Are you going to take what's left maybe? After everybody else gets what they need out of you, then whatever's left over, you use that to start living in your purpose, living on purpose? Or will you start today? That's a question that only you can answer. I can't answer that question for you. Only you can answer that question. So when? Write that down. Then there's the where. The where is an interesting one because nowadays, there's just so many options. But where do you need to be to live in your purpose or on purpose? Is it one place? Is it a lot of places? Is there no geographical necessity? In other words, does it even matter where you're going to be at? I guess you can't answer that question until you know what your purpose is and when you're going to start living it. But where will you need to be? And if you do need to be a certain place, at what point are you going to start making preparations to get there? But I say again, nowadays, you can often do the things you need to do to serve your purpose, to live your purpose from anywhere on the globe. But it's a great question to ask yourself, where will you need to be to live your purpose? And the last question, might be the toughest one, is why. When I say why, not why live your purpose, not why live on purpose, but why. What is your why? You got this purpose, but what's the why behind that purpose? Here's something I learned along the way. Being a former procrastinator myself, recovering procrastinator, often you can think something's important or it can be important in the moment, and then at some point you just kind of fall off. Then you come back to it, then you fall off again. There's something behind that, and part of it has to do with your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Is your why big enough? Is it that important to you? Because if your purpose, or what you think is your purpose, is not really important to you, you will quit on yourself. You will put it on the back burner. Or you will say, not quit. A lot of people say, just take a break, right? Rest. You'll find yourself resting a lot more than you need to. Why are you doing this thing? Why is it even important? What is your why? And it's got to be something bigger than yourself. The why has to be bigger than you. What is your why? Why do you want to do what you want to do to live on purpose or to live your purpose? So those are some questions that you want to ask yourself. Write them down. Who, what, when, where, why. Get into the how on a different video. Not even going to go there right here. But 5 questions about living in your purpose. And as usual, do something a day to make yourself better. Not a day goes by that I don't do something to become better. Because if I know anything, I know this for sure. When we become better people, our world becomes a better place. Peace.